Oh, sorry about that. How you doing, guys? You're right, buddy. Let me share my screen.
Microphone. Hello.
Hey, buddy. I was there, and then I was gone, and I was there. I was just looking at this footsie, actually.
Mhm.
I think there might be a little trade onto the downside. So, uh, that does seem a bit close to that pivot. Let me just have a look here. It's right on top of support there. But I wonder whether we might have a little drift down this morning. So I'm going to put an order in here. Let's quickly do this. Just a little day trade. Looks like 60-20 might be the trade on. So let's do this. And we can come back to it after we've done the pound. Stop loss at the highs up here at 60.35. And let's place that. So that's in the market. I'll quickly write it on here, mate, and then
Cool.
we will get to the pound. So it is a FTSE sell. Now, what I want to do is buy it back later. So I'm hoping for an opportunity to do that. I think the market's got a fairly decent chance of going higher today. Sorry, my control. There we go. Right, it is a UK. Let's write it up as it is 100, and it is a sell at 60.20 is the entry, with a stop loss at 60.35, and I'm going to flip the order. So then I'm going to buy back in. I'm going to buy back in 40 pips down. So let's call it a take profit for now. Take profit at 59.80. 59.80, and I will write that up into the journal if we get triggered in. So entry at 60.20, stop loss at 60.35, and with a take profit at 59.80. Now, when we get down to that point, we're not going to take profit. We're going to flip positions, but I'll explain if we get down there. Okay, over to you, mate, and the pound.
Right, bud. Sharing. It may be you get my wrong screen. Just let me know if that's the case. What screen have you got?
We got the pound. Yeah, we got the pound dollar, mate. Yeah, that's right.
Cool. I had awful trouble this morning. Right. So what we have is the buy order is correct at this point in time. So the sell order is correct at this point in time. The buy order is going to be buying at 13058. Stop loss is going to be 13042. Should we be surprised? Because there was a holiday yesterday, wasn't there? Or I better get this moving. I'll do the TPs in a sec for the buy. We will place the sell first. Go. Thank you. 130.39. And stop loss is 130.51. That one's good. And now the buy. Buy the buy. Buy stop at 130.58. And stop loss 130.42. Okay. All those labels are now correct apart from the TPs on the buy. So the TPs on the buy, let me get rid of that. We may not have to worry about that. 1 hour. There's the sell there. Right. Okay. Just keep my eye on it. Okay. So we've got 16 pips of risk, which means we're going to use 8 pips of TP1. So 8 pips of that is 30.66. 1 pip away from yesterday. 130.66 is TP1. TP2, virtue of a 16 pip risk, would be 32 pips. So that would be 130.90. 1.3090. Okay. We are good to go.
Sorry, mate, I was distracted there. I haven't managed to write that up. I'm just looking at the FTSE moved a little bit, so I will write those things in, but I'm just calculating whether we can go in a little bit lower.
Okay.
14.35. Yeah, we probably could actually. Okay, I'll holler if we're going to do that, but let's write this up first with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come back to the FTSE in a moment. I think I'm gonna move my entry down on the FTSE just to 60.15 instead. That looks like our breakout point there. Okay, let's write this in and see if we get our entry. Right, so let's do the pound and then we'll come back to this. So the pound, dollar, and it is the 13th.
It is indeed.
And it is just before the market is meant to be. So we're going to do that.
And we're in short.
Oh, so we're already in short, are we?
30.33. We're not that far away, so
we're not going to get the FTSE. FTSE's gone, unfortunately. We're not going to get that.
Close the sell. 30.33 will close 0.13. And yeah, 30.33. We actually got to get through it, but we'll see how price action. If price action is generous enough to give us a TP1 there. So you've got all those levels, mate, that you need?
No, I haven't got any. Sorry, I was
okay. Well,
I was still focused on the FTSE.
long while we're there. Right. The buy is gone. No, that's not right. Whoops. Delete the buy. Okay, done. All right, so why have I still got the buy stop there then? Tell me that. Because I've got another trade in the market, have I? I don't think so. That's a bit weird. Delete the buy stop. I thought I just did that. There, now it's gone. Righto. So your buy entry, do you want the buy entry? Because we've been triggered short. Does it matter?
Yeah, let's just take the short. That's no problem.
Okay, so the sell was at 1.3039.
1.3039. Yep.
The stop loss was 1.3051.
1.3051.
TP1 is 1.3033.
1.3033.
And TP2 is 1.3015.
3015. Okay.
And we are short, but we want some sellers to come back, please. That would be nice. Mate, I'm going to keep you busy. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, I've got to tell you.
No problem at all. Okay. I think we're not going to get in the FTSE this morning, so I'm going to cancel that order on the FTSE. Doesn't look like we're going to get triggered in. It looks like the market's gone already. It was keen, very keen, even before we started this morning. So let's get rid of that sell limit there. Okay, no big deal. No big deal. Yeah, maybe there's an opportunity later, but we definitely missed that first one. Okay, what else we got then, mate?
We've got pound yen.
Pound yen. Okay.
This is on an hourly chart, I think. Yes. H1. It's a buy. Entry level is, that won't tell me what. Soften succotash. Come on. Actually, pound selling off. Are we close to TP1 or not? Better have a look. Better have a look. Where's it gone? There. Actually, we've been through TP1 and I've missed it. Is that right? Show me. Yes, we have. Okay, so guys, you should have taken your TP1. I haven't done that, which means, you know what I'll do? I'll move my stops to entry instantly, unless I can get TP1 here. But I will move my stops to entry, definitely. So that becomes stop loss 30, 39. But you guys should be free trading. And your stop loss should be at 30.45. That's how quick that can happen.
Is that profit? Is that in profit, mate?
Well, it's break even or better now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get TP1, but everyone else should have TP1. Looks a bit willing, actually. Wants to go. But where? I'll try and get TP1 here. That's bizarre. Um, 33 I'm looking for, aren't I? Come on, you little sod, get down there. Silence was the stern reply. Okay, I'm not going to hang around here.
Is that just got to go through that little level there, is it?
Well, it's got to go near to where it bottomed. It bottomed on 31.5, and now TP was 33. And whilst I was doing something else, there you go. I'm out now. But you guys should still be in.
Well done. So what was that profit, or was that?
Well, we don't know yet. The reality is, however this ends. So I'm just protecting capital. I mean,
Okay.
the result of the trade is not yet determined.
Okay.
So if it goes to, what's the stop loss? 45. If it goes above 45, I'm sure you guys will tell me if you get knocked out. So we're looking for TP2 at 30.15, which is a bit ambitious down there, but stranger things have happened. It's only at DS1 after all. Righto, you guys, I'll leave that with you. If you could tell me if you get your stops hit or if you get TP2, that would be good. Pound yen I was on, wasn't I? Okay, so we've got a buy order at 136.93, I think I put it. Why doesn't it tell me? 136.93. Stop loss is 137.29. Do you get that?
What's that for? Sorry, mate. I've got one thing going on here.
Oh, you all right. I'll just do this. I'll type it up and I won't talk. Okay.
No
I told you there was a bit going on today. $137.63.
That's okay. Right, I'm with you now. Sorry, I just had to cancel something going in there.
Right.
Oh, that was a shame about the FTSE. Wow, that's a tanking.
Is it?
Didn't come back to our level.
Okay, stop loss on this one.
Right. What are we on, mate? I'm with you now. What are we on?
Pound yen.
Pound yen. Okay, so I've got pound yen. It's a what sort of order is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, is it a sell?
That's buy.
Buy stop?
Yep.
Buy stop. Okay. And price?
137.63.
137.63. Yep.
Stop loss is 137.29. I think I'll just confirm that. Yeah, that's right.
37.29. Yep.
TP1 is a little bit ambitious, but it is going to be 137.78.
And what's the risk on this one?
It's not in the best spot, so we'll just go. We'll ease our way into this 0.25%.
Okay.
Now I've forgotten that level, for goodness sake. 137.78, I think I said.
137.78 for take profit one, is it? 37.78. Okay. All right, and you say 0.25% on this one. 1.25. Okay.
TP2 we won't worry about at the moment. We'll just leave it at TP1. Okay. Now you've got that one, yeah?
Yeah, got that one.
Euro Aussie. Where have I got that?
That one's just an idea right now, isn't it? It's not entered.
Not entered yet, no.
Okay, let me just change that to.
Do you only want to know when they're entered? That's probably a good idea, isn't it?
What's that? Sorry.
You only put them in the journal when they're entered. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can take the ideas. I've got the ideas as well. So I've got an ideas column, and that's so we can do both. Not a problem.
There's the ideas.
There's
a lot of them.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, just let me know when they're entered.
Okay. I'll go through them quickly for you. Or you do your stuff, and then I'll come back and do my stuff. Unless you want me to go now.
Yeah, you can go down, mate. The footsie's gone. I mean,
All right.
it's a shame. It was just a oh my God. I mean, it's like from where we wanted to enter, it's now down 50 pips. So that's almost a 1% gain we would have got there for a risk of 50 pip. Yeah, it would have been a 3-1 already. But that's by the by. It's gone now, so I can't do anything about that.
Bye bye footsie. Bye bye.
Yeah, unfortunately, mate. Unfortunately.
Oh well, there's always another one. Now I'm going to start with Euro Aussie because I traded this, or I put an order on this morning, and since then the market, well, according to the eminent journal, the South China, what's it called, Monthly Post or something, the Chinese have effectively put an order through to stop all power stations and all coal users from using Australian coal. That is a rumour at this point, and I know up until about 3 hours ago, the Australian government had not had that confirmed. But as I say, the eminent journal, the South China Monthly Post, has reported that, and the world's press hasn't reported it as facts. It has reported it as a rumour. So on the back of that, we've had an Aussie decline.
That is a big rumor, isn't it?
It is a big rumour, but we also had a big rumour. I think we're going back to about March, probably about March, I think. And the rumour was that five ports in China were ordered not to take Australian coal. Now that turned out to be fake news, and I couldn't work out at the time why that would be even a even semi-sensible idea, given that Australia produces the best coking coal in the world, and that's not me saying that, that's the world market saying that. And China controls just about every coal export port in Australia. So why that didn't make any sense to me at all. Now, China's been flexing its muscle with Australia for months and months and months. And we've heard of beef. I think there's 5 abattoirs in Australia whose beef is no longer exported to China because of tariffs or bans, actually, on the beef imports from 5 abattoirs. There are big tariffs on barley coming out of Australia. And as I said at the time, I don't see that that's a big issue because there are other markets for barley. India, for instance. There are other markets for beef. Japan, for instance. America, for instance. You know, there's a whole lot of countries after Australian beef. But coal, it does start to get a bit serious if they're talking about coal. And I don't believe that the Chinese are in a position to go ahead with those threats. But that's just me. So, and I'm no economist, as I continue to say, and I'm certainly no fundamentalist. So I can only go on what you guys are going on as well. That kind of keeps me a little bit tentative if I'm trading the Aussie dollar at all against anything. And I've got a very good bias now. I warm to the Aussie very, very much. Before that rumor, of course. The market has reacted to it, but the market hasn't said this is fact yet. Because if the market believes this to be fact, the Aussie or the Euro Aussie won't be in this box for any given length of time. It'll shoot through the top of there very, very quickly. So at the moment, I think the market's very reserved on its reaction to that report. But I think we should be as well. So I'm going to leave this in the market because I'm only trading it at 0.25% anyway. But I'm not going to enter anything else Aussie related at all despite my bias, which was Aussie Kiwi, Aussie CAD, and Aussie dollar all long. I'll just give you a brief look at those. And that's what's happened since that rumor was made public. Aussie Kiwi has crashed. Aussie CAD has broken through the bottom of this range, but not terribly far. Interesting, that one, Aussie CAD. And Aussie dollar has also broken through the support levels. What this may do for us is give us an excellent price point to buy these currencies. And that's kind of where I'm at. But I think unless you want to roll the dice on it, and I don't, I'm not a dice roller, it's just, I think, better to stay out. And even if this rumor is has got legs, then I think at the end of the day, we're going to get a better price point, because I don't see this being a long-term thing. I think, again, China are just flexing its muscle against Australia, and I don't think that we're going to see massive longevity in this one. But, you know, again, I'm not an economist, and I really don't know. Certainly, I haven't got a connection to the Chinese coal board or whomever makes these decisions. I don't know. The government, I would imagine. Righto, so the Aussie pairs, despite my bias to buy Aussie, is off the table for now, but watching these very, very closely. And if they do get to a price point that's ridiculous and set up as a potential buy, then that's exactly what I'll be looking to do. So Aussie Kiwi, Aussie CAD, Aussie US dollar, and Euro Aussie going the other way. Is it Euro Aussie I'm going to keep in the market? Okay. Now there are a few more. Euro Kiwi, yeah, Euro Kiwi. On this chart was showing me and I won't say it's a clear tradable false break, but it's definitely a clear false break. I chose not to trade this, and I'm not 100% I'm happy with that decision, to be fair. But the reason I did was because the trade line, DS2, the monthly pivot, were all in my way. I'd have to risk, say, 93 pips here to pick up, well, now 10 or 12 before I hit the first support level. So I chose not to do that. But I clearly see this bar here on the weekly chart. It's got issues as well with the trend line here and the trend line here. I think I mentioned this to you guys before, but that bar there is almost compelling. I do like it. Why aren't I trading it then? Well, something's whispering in my ear, and I don't know what that something is. Maybe it's those trend lines that are just giving me the willies. And, you know, 380 pips risk for 50 pips here, maybe half there's okay, but you've got to go through that level as well. I think I'll wait for the 4-hour charts to give me a better entry and a better risk reward on that one. Euro yen, you know about. I've had lots of conversations on Euro yen, and unfortunately I missed the entry, which was this one here. It wasn't perfect because I wanted to come back to the trade line, this trade line here, and daily pivot confluence yesterday. That trade line wasn't essential because we really are playing a false break of the resistance trade line, and we did get a retest of that. So eminently tradable, but I wanted to have price up to here. I could get my stop loss above there, and away we go. Do I want to trade it now? No, because it's already gone, number one. We've got an untested daily pivot, number two. And I don't really like the fact that we've got a spinning top followed by a low test bar here. I want something a little bit better than that. So how do we get in? Well, I'm not real sure, to be absolutely fair. Maybe we've got another trade line that forms off this potential low that is under construction. So in there somewhere, maybe then we can get up to the daily pivot, come back and hit that and bounce off it. And then we'd have maybe a few low test bars that we could trade short. We'll see. I'm not that keen to jump in right now, that's for sure. So waiting for a pullback. Euro Kiwi, we've spoken about. Euro Aussie, we've spoken about. And Euro Yen we've spoken about. So that's pretty much it for the watch list for today. The trades that we are still in, I am considering, and I will, as I said with this one, if the 4-hour candle closes underneath this confluence area, I will cancel this order. Sorry, not cancel the order. I will close the trade in loss. Pardon me. And then potentially look for trading it short. Sorry, I've got a hair in my mouth. I don't know how that got there. That's better. So it looks like a false break to me at this point. So for me to stay in this trade, this candle has to close above the weekly pivot or above the trade line, one of those two. Otherwise, I will close. I'll cancel. I'll close it. Won't cancel it because I'm already in the trade. So that is euro dollar. Euro CAD. Euro CAD's trying its little puffer valve out to get to TP1, but as yet not. Yeah, there's nothing to do here. There really is nothing to do here. We're about, 18 pips away from our first take profit. We'll hang in there until hopefully that happens. If there is a big turnaround for whatever reason, we'll consider it, when we get to this area. But there's nothing to do here at the moment. We're within a few pips of our TP1. Euro pound is pretty much exactly the same, but except, of course, we do have money in the bank here. And we've got our stop loss in a pretty safe position. The risk here is less than 0.1% now. So, it's no big deal, even if we got taken out. So there's nothing to do here. I do like the fact that we've broken this level here. And I truly think we've got a shot at getting down to here at 80, 88, 80 or something like that. So another 160 odd pips. That would be handy on euro pound. Dollar Swissy. Dollar Swissy doesn't want to go near it. Well, it wants to go near it, but it won't get to it. Our TP1 as well. I haven't had a look at the dollar index today. Let's do that very quickly. But by the look of that, it's just holding steady, doing pretty much nothing. My chart hasn't filled for some reason. Ready, set, go. Come on. You can do it.
I'll check that as well. Actually, yeah, it's been a little bit of a boost in the dollar index today.
Is that?
Slightly.
I'm glad you've got a chart. I haven't.
Yeah, I can bring you that. Let me bring it up on this. God, it's a lot of movement today, mate. Lots of movement. A little bit frustrating just to miss that FTSE trade by. Just didn't want to bounce back up. It literally went through a level, and I don't like trading through levels, but sometimes you just got to do it. But it went through the level and just did not want to come. I'll show you it now. Bring this dollar chart up. There we go. Right, let me show you the FTSE.
Guys, sorry, we've been a little bit busy. I haven't been able to answer anyone, but I will do that very, very shortly.
Yeah, me too. Look at that, mate.
Hoya.
Yeah, just me. I mean, there was just no bounce. Even when I moved my entry down here when it started to go through, didn't come back to there, and there was just no bounce. And now this is now untradeable. And if anything, I'd prefer to look for buying opportunities down here. Not right now, but I'd prefer to look for buying opportunities now. Looks like a fairly decent level. When you look at the FTSE on a daily chart, you can see that this is the test area. We're right on top of that weekly pivot. So now, why have I got that down there? I have got a buy order, but it's just a little bit lower, just down to that point there. But actually, I wouldn't mind it there. I might just delete this buy order and see whether there is a potential turnaround here. The issue for the UK is that we are back in lockdown, and there are parts of the country which are pretty much in full lockdown. So that's probably one of the reasons that the FTSE's had such a huge spanking. Now you can see that's a pretty good bar on the 15. Not hugely bullish, but It does suggest that there could be an opportunity just above that point there, but I'm not so keen here. Where I was quite happy to go just to, go in a little bit heavier from the from this particular point. I'd be wanting to go in fairly light down here if I'm going to trade it at all, but I think that needs to bottom out a little bit more, and I'll show you some of the reasons that I've got a little bit of lack of faith in a bounce just at this point. This is the dollar index. A little bit of a bounce so far today, and we are seeing just just a bit more confidence, but it's got to get back through that level to prove that it's going higher. Doesn't look like that's likely at this particular stage. But this is one of the reasons that I'm not so comfortable trading the FTSE, and it's the VIX. The VIX has also taken a pretty good bounce so far today. Okay, not going to use that one then. Let's have a look. Is that all it's going to give me? Has this changed? Right, let me see. Let's see if they give me that. No, they don't. Let's look at it here and see if we can get it on. No, we can only do the on the daily. Okay, can't really see too much on the daily, unfortunately. But the VIX has taken it does look like it may well be holding a little bit of a zone here. And looking, really across as well to the S&P. S&P struggling as well this morning. Just on top of this trend line here, so there should, there's likely to be some sort of bounce here. Looks like we're just on top of that trend line there, and it looks like there should be some sort of bounce here. And if we were to look at this on shorter term timeframes, that's a bull flag. So that, it is a positive pattern, and certainly tradable. And also, if we consider the S&P, there am I. Sorry, I'm just. It's really hectic so far this morning, I have to say. Can't find anything. There I am. Okay, so yes, interesting with the S&P. Now you can see that with the S&P, that there's probably not any major reason for this one to go down, but we are now very close. You look on the weekly chart, we're very close to the we're beyond the previous close at this stage, but we're right on top of that previous close. So we're very close to that particular level, and we aren't quite yet at the all-time highs, and it might just struggle to get up there. Looking at this on the daily chart, you can see that that area looks a bit more significant. So I'd be much more keen, actually, if the S&P was up here, to say, let's look for some shorts, because I would quite like these markets just to come off a little bit. And the stimulus isn't there yet. I think there was some hope of stimulus, and that's what's driving the markets higher. But since then, it hasn't really it hasn't filtered through. So I think there's a chance the S&P comes down. Same with the Nasdaq. Look at the Nasdaq on a weekly, and we're in exactly the same spot. I think Apple are maybe releasing new iPhones or iPads or something. There's new releases from Apple. I think there's, we are in kind of Christmas season where people are going to be buying those types of products. So there is every suggestion that that the Nasdaq continues to push higher and push to the upside. But just maybe a bit of profit taken on some of this, but I don't see anything but further upside until we test these all-time highs, and then I'd quite like to look for some downside. And what would really be what would be really good is if that coincided with the election. If there was something going on with the election at that particular time, that would look pretty good. So we could plan to go short, but not until we get to that particular level, and possibly if we see opportunities, that there might even still be some long opportunities in the market that we can take as well.
Got to say, you haven't exactly filled me with enthusiasm for the pound, mate.
Well, I mean, the pound, let's have a look with the
Given the
pound.
lockdown situation.
Oh, well, the lockdown situation isn't particularly good, but look at this on the weekly. I mean, it is at a pretty decent level of resistance. Right, I'm now on the YouTube channel, so I can see everybody's comments now.
So, guys, are you still in the pound trade? You should be. I think. Well, I wasn't watching, but I don't think it would have gone back to your stop loss, would it?
So you got Alan asking about the euro CAD, euro dollar, and dollar Swissy. Jeff, for the euro yen, there is a trade line. Okay, that's cool. Bitcoin seemingly is in its own land. Yeah, Ethereum is holding up, and I'm still holding on to Ethereum. And we will talk about that later on, obviously. But Ethereum is just about holding up. I haven't got a big position on Ethereum, but I've got some Ethereum. I've also got Cardano, which both of them seem to be doing okay right now. The dollar isn't strengthening hugely. Let's look at it against the euro. Not massive strength in the dollar, but you can see that there is a possibility now. Now this is still in a bit of a holding pattern at this stage because we have an angled level here. So it's not quite, well, it might be. I think you could argue that's through. If you were to take the lower levels, however, then it looks like it might just about hold up at this particular point. So not any major confidence that this is going lower just yet. Let's bring in the pivots and have a look what that looks like. Yeah, the pivots are probably going to hold it up, but it looks a bit of negativity in the euro, and certainly the dollar index is looking very similar to this, but the other way around. Let's have a look at the dollar versus the Swissy as well. Yeah, well, there is a trend going on there. Now this looks more like the dollar index. It's almost a mirror image of the dollar index, and there is this level through here. So the dollar has to get through. If you look at it against the Swissy, it's a very good visual proxy for the dollar index. But you can see it's got to get through its weekly pivot and this trend line.
It's got to go down another 20-something.
if it does get through the weekly pivot and the trend line, I think that's when we start to see the dollar stretch its legs a bit, and there's a chance of that again, while we kind of got election news and bits and pieces coming out, and ultimately this is still, it's always going to depend on what time frame you look at, whether you have an uptrend or not, because you can see that here. You can see here, and if we're looking at this daily, there's the low down there, and there's the high, and there's the higher low, and there's the higher high. Now, really, what we've kind of got here is kind of another series of lower lows and lower highs. So it is in a downtrend on the daily chart here, but this lower base level hasn't been broken. And let's see what happens if we switch time frames. And this is the importance of time frame correlation here. Tell you what, my pen really does play up. Here we go. Now you can see here that we've got a completely different picture when we look at the weekly chart. So when you're considering taking trades, just understand what time frame that you're looking at, and make sure that you are considering the other time frames as well. Because with this one, we've got the low down here, and there was the previous high point. So we got the higher high, and is this going to produce a higher low? And obviously the weekly chart has to trump the daily, 4 hourly, and everything but the monthly ultimately. So we've got to make sure that we are aware that this actually could be in an uptrend. And if we take the closing price, in fact, we take that low there and the closing price, actually we're right on top of support there. So because it's a weekly chart, we really want to see the weekly bar close just to make sure it's holding. If we can get confirmation that this is holding here, then I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the dollar back to its highs up here, and that would look like a pretty good level if this is the trend line here, depending on when it arrived at that price, or if it arrived at that price. then it would only need to get there by it's got enough time to kind of get there by, it looks like around about the middle of November. And we're talking about a weekly chart here. So if that was around, if that was starting to climb by the middle of November, that looks like a pretty obvious target there. And if not there, just slightly higher. At that point, we're kind of looking at the start of November. So only the matter of a few weeks away that we could start to see the dollar rise. Are we starting to get a hint that the dollar is to strengthen into the election? Quite possibly. That might be what this is showing us, that the dollar's going to strengthen into the election, and then when the election's done, all bets are off again. It's possible that that's the case.
Does that give you any sense of what logic? Given that Biden is probably going to win,
yeah,
I would think that's not so great for the dollar. You're thinking the other way?
Well, I mean, do you know what? The other thing that I think needs to be considered is that if there is stimulus that comes in from the government, then the government will be using money, and that's not created money. That's not printed money. So that almost
have they got
takes
any money that's not printed.
What I mean is that they're not the ones that do the printing. They're the ones that will use the money and put it back in the system. So if they're putting money back into the system, that means that off the back of that, there's every chance that the dollar does strengthen, because the central bank kind of printing money and creating stimulus will weaken the dollar because there's more dollars in circulation. But when the government do a spending program, then it tends to have the adverse effect. So if there is stimulus coming, then you would suspect that that the dollar may well strengthen off the back of that. In sidebar as well, on the weekly. So there's a few things to consider, I think, with the dollar that would suggest that that there could be a bit of strength in the dollar, and I may well take a dollar long, as a bit of a hedge against the cryptos. Just as Shukri says, it's really amazing that that Bitcoin and Ethereum look like they are holding up right now, even though that we are seeing just a little bit of dollar strength. But it's possible and probable that that Bitcoin does drift back to the downside somewhat, but it is through some levels. So I don't really want to get rid of my position in Ethereum. I'm going to hold on to it as long as I can. But I might take a hedge just against it by trading the dollar, and it may not be a direct hedge in the end if they're not moving as they normally would. But I think it might well be worth it buying up the dollar. And maybe a different way to play that would be by selling gold or silver, because silver's also in a bit of a sticky position in many respects. It depends on which chart you look at, but again, look at this on the daily chart here. We're right on top of that resistance zone. And if the dollar is to strengthen, then you would suggest that that silver and gold would probably weaken off the back of that. So this is another potential way to play a hedge against having a long in a crypto, is to maybe sell some precious metal. So I might well look into that, mate. I think there's some mileage to this. Now we just been looking at the dollar on the weekly chart, so let's do the same with gold and silver, and see what this is suggesting. And it's similar, isn't it? Where we've had a push to the upside, a push to the upside. Now we're waiting for a week where this just gives us some a hint that this is coming down. And I think this may well be tradable next week, and possibly right up into the election. And I don't know the statistics, but I'd quite like to know, and I might have a quick look at it. How do gold and silver perform the month into the election? I think that's another thing that's going to be well worth studying, and it's quite simple to do. You just kind of we can just go back 2016, and how did it get on in November? Oops.
I'm just looking at that chart, and my question would be, not that chart, the one you were on before. Yeah. I don't know what chart it was, weekly maybe.
Yeah, the weekly, yeah.
Okay, how many times is that gold? Yeah, has
Yes.
gold put 2 weeks in a row buying and then retraced?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Why,
Don't see
why,
any.
why are you looking at that? Oh, just because you haven't seen
That's
any.
because I don't
Okay.
see any.
Yeah. 2 weeks of buying and then retraced. I don't know, but I suppose that the difference thing with this with gold is that this is now in a downtrend in accordance to the weekly chart. Um, whereas
Well, don't take what I say about gold with a grain of salt because I've got no idea.
I mean, there's one here. If we kind of
I'm just
go
looking at the chart.
if we go eggs for eggs, this is a downtrend. There's a week higher there, week higher there. Then we come down. That's an uptrend, so we can't use that one. There's a bit of a downtrend there. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd be interested to know how gold reacts the week before. Sorry, the month before the election. I think that would be an interesting statistic to have a look at. Um,
Well, I reckon that the Big O will tell you that tomorrow.
that'd be fantastic. Yeah, if the Big O is down with that, that'd be fine. Ada's on fire, is it? Oh well, let's have a look at Ada. Let's see. I know that.
I used to have a
Yes.
neighbour called Ada.
Oh yes. Do you know
It's
what,
a
mate?
it's a very
Yeah.
English name.
It is a very English name, yeah,
Mm.
Ada. Yeah, Ada is Cardano, and that is I don't even know what it's up, but I'm making money on that one, so I'm quite happy with Cardano as well. So Cardano's flying. Ethereum's still doing okay. How's that euro pound trade going? Yeah, this is still doing okay as well. This is all about a deal. I did put a little bit of a stop in right, really high, just in case that came down, went up overnight. But that was more for you
Everyone
guys
else
than me.
sleep well at knowing that.
Yeah, it did. It was like
Yeah.
so high, it's just pointless. But yeah, so I am seeing that there is a potential picture for some weakness in gold, silver, and some strength in the dollar subsequently. So maybe the same with this one as well. As I said, nice inside bar there. We've only got 1 day really of potential proof that the dollar's going higher, but wouldn't mind
Well,
seeing this.
one session. We haven't got to appreciate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, only one session. Yeah. Well, we're not even through the UK session right now, but yeah, this does look like the level. That's that area up there. Make my chart small enough to see the numbers here. Well, that's quite a big chart, isn't it? Yeah. These are the numbers that we need to take out. So 91.45, I would have thought needs to be taken out. So still quite a long way before I think we can start to rely on the dollar Swiss. But that's exactly what I'll look for. I won't trade this until I see this. And I would be quite happy to trade this. I've been quite keen to get into the potentially the dollar Swiss. But if that can come up, let me just draw that better.
Just be patient. Let it go down a little bit first.
Yeah, it can go down. But if it can come up to there and then come back, then I think we've got a trade. And actually, now that's drawn. Look at what we got. That could create an inverted head and shoulders. So we might even have an accumulation pattern. So it looks like we can get well and truly out in front with a dollar just by aiming for the 0.9145. But it's got to go through, as I say. It looks like the monthly pivot should show some rejection. But if it can get up to that monthly pivot, show some rejection, then that looks like the sweet spot right there. And that would probably suggest that there would be a fib there as well. And if it were to go up to that point there, yeah, that would be a 50% retracement. If it got anywhere near that level from the lows, come back 50%, and there's a lot stacked up there. So get through and then come back, and it looks like actually the price would be 91.30, 91.35, 91.40, something like that. So the dollar, for that very reason, is going to go on the ideas list, mate.
Mm-hmm.
USD Swissy. USD Swiss. And that is The price is going to be 0.9135. I'm going to put down for right now. And that would be a sell. Yeah, we'll do the rest of it, you know, as or when it comes available. But I think we can get, as I say, out in front with that. What time is it? So we're saying 9 o'clock. Okay, that's all I've got for right now. As I say, the FTSE is has gone, and that just has to be accepted. Very very frustrating. Look at that beautiful 4-hour bar there, but this but it's now in a buy zone.
Okay, you done, mate?
Yeah, done for right now.
Rightio, let's take a look around the place and answer a few questions that we've got here. In particular, I think, Alan, you wanted to know, and I did start on that. Where is my share button gone? There it is. On the trades that we are already in. So let's have a quick look at those again. Sino got into Euro Yen. We were talking about that yesterday, weren't we? Was it yesterday? I think it was, yes, Sino. And I said in the later show that Sino would be into that. Awesome, buddy. Well done. And that is Euro Yen. And that was what we were looking at, and that I didn't trade. Again, I was talking to somebody else and missed it, or talking about something else. That's the hazards of being in shows like this. You just cannot watch every chart and do the presentation as well. Big news for Australia. Yes, that is big news if it's true, Shukri. I'm not 100% on whether it's got too much substance behind it, to be fair. Can I run through the trades? Euro CAD, Euro dollar, dollar Swissy. Okay. Euro CAD first. Yeah, look, Euro CAD is what now 16 pips away from our first take profit level. There's absolutely nothing to do here except wait for that to happen. If you've got any doubts about it, I don't know why you would. You know, we've already had a test of the daily pivot. We're now tanking fairly substantially. If this were to turn around, it would be very, very strange. We've got to have a test of these levels, surely. Surely. It's a dreadful word to use when you're trading, but I don't see that this has got any fear of hitting that level at all, Alan, and I wouldn't be concerned about it one bit. The only thing that would probably disturb me, I suppose, is if that level there now got taken out. That level there. If that were taken out, then we've got something to think about. But at this point in time, no, I'm not the least bit concerned, and I'm just waiting for TP1 to come, mate. Euro, what was the other one? Dollar Swissy. We did well. You just heard Ash on dollar Swissy. Look, I think we are in a little bit of a concern in that we look like we are going to have a little bit of a rally here. And we did say this at the time, that this was a base and we were looking for a higher low to come in. We were hoping that it would be down here somewhere. And look, that could still happen. I'm not as confident, however, as I am on EuroCAD that we've just had a look at. A couple of options for you. You could simply move your stops to entry and not worry about a thing. You could take profit at, where are we, 20 odd pips or something. What's the level we're at? 90, 60, 91, 11. So we're what, 22 pips to the good. You could take half off at 22 pips and move your stops 22 pips from entry. That would make you safe in the market, probably get your stop loss above weekly pivot. So there's your entry, 22 pips above there, gets you to what? DR3, above DR3. I reckon that's reasonable. And it's above this area here as well. if you're concerned, I reckon that would be your course of action. Take profit now, take half off the table, and move your stops that amount of pips above your entry level. In fact, I think it's not a bad idea anyway. Let's do that. 91.11. We're going to take some profit here. So we're going to close. Doesn't mean I'm giving up. It means I'm making myself safe. So we're taking what? 91.10.7. Let's call it 91.11. So 22 pips. We now move our stop loss 22 pips from entry, which will be 91.55. $91.55 and bingo. Suddenly you can't lose. And that's not too bad a position for your stop loss either. It is above the weekly pivot, which is where I believe if this is going to bounce and go our way, it'll probably happen there. Maybe the monthly pivot, but there I think. We've already had a double cross of the monthly pivot, right? Isn't that what we're trading after all? Yeah, it's the same thing. It was a false break and a double cross of the monthly pivot. So that's what we're trading. So I'm not concerned about the monthly pivot. The weekly pivot's the one because it's untested, right? So I think we're okay, and I think we've done a smart thing there. Putting a little bit in the bank. Ka-ching never hurt anybody. As I said, it's very, very difficult to go broke banking. EuroCAD, Euro dollar, and Euro dollar. We haven't spoken about Euro. Well, we have spoken about Euro dollar, and here's what I would do with Euro dollar. I said before, if this closes below these levels, so, and you know what it'll do, don't you? It'll close exactly where it is. If that is the case, then here's what I would do. I would wait for the next candle. If it closes here, I'd wait for the next candle, which is likely to be a buying bar, in my humble opinion. And then what I would do is I would put a sell order below that bar. And in that way, you're covering your longs, basically. Okay. So just make sure you put the right amount on the sell so that everything that goes south here is counteracting what you're losing going long. So that would be my counsel there. If it closes down here, you've probably got a problem. And it's got, what, an hour to go, I think. But if it closes above here, do nothing. Because I think we'll still get the bounce and we'll still go long. The dollar is an issue today. It's a matter of how far it bounces. But in my humble opinion, I don't see any reason why it's going to rally too far. But there you go. So I hope that helps on those three. And Sino Euro Yen, there's a trade line for the short. Trade line starts from September 25th all the way up to the buyer bar in H4. I did put it on there. And that's the one you're talking about. Yeah, look, what it is it's a trade level. But is it a sell level is the question. And the answer will be, if it breaks and retests it, then yes, I'm with you. But if it doesn't do that, if it just breaks it and stays in this area, then I don't think necessarily it is a sell. It may, in fact, be a buy. I do see the false break that you saw yesterday and that I didn't trade because I was talking. But I'm not comfortable here. Just not comfortable here. I'd need to see the daily pivot tested to start with, and then maybe come back here, as I said before. But the trade line is okay, but you don't really want to be entering as a breakout. I don't believe. Break and retest, yes. Breakout's a bit risky in my humble opinion. That's that one. And you're in. So happy days. I hope you've made yourself safe. Gold was dropping. That's not mine. I think I've come to the end. All right, so we've made ourselves risk-free dollar Swissy. we're going to have a good look at euro dollar when it gets to where it's going to. Euro CAD, we're waiting for that to hit TP1. Euro pound, nothing to do on euro pound. We've gone through TP1. A retest here is a scale-in point for me. So if we were to come back there to today to this level, or even tomorrow, or even Friday, then that's a scale-in point for me. I think that's a good sell area right there. But I'm not sure we're going to get there. I think this is now in trouble. But the pandemic, it's like, the coal news. You can be bullish as you like on the Aussie, and if that coal news is true, forget it. The Aussie ain't going to rally, I can assure you, if that is true. So I think that CAD Swissy, we haven't triggered CAD Swissy yet, I don't believe. No, we're still waiting on that to trigger. Those of you who cancelled and should have the order overnight, I've put it back in the market because we got an inside bar here, which changes nothing. And of course, yesterday was a bank holiday in the US, so nothing to do there. Pound yen hasn't triggered. There's our entry up here. I think if I got to close, I'm going to leave it in. If we got to close below the weekly pivot, I think I'd cancel the order. But until that's the case, I still think this has got a chance to go. And wow, we've got a few more questions. Gee whiz. Should I reinstall? IFS MT4 just suddenly crashed and could not be put on again. The trade couldn't be put on again? Is that what you mean? Because of... So I know Aussie yen and Aussie Kiwi short, both H4. I'm not trading the Aussie. So I know because of that news, it's a rumor, but if it's true, then you'll be on a win. If it's not true, then you're going to get hammered, in my opinion. Roll the dice if you want, but that's not where I'm going. Euro yen can go short now at H4 with trade line drawn from that one you're talking about. I can't go for the reasons I just said. Aldi. Did I say Aldi? I guess pound is not doing well. Aldi. What's Aldi, Alan? Did I say Aldi? Aldi's a supermarket chain, yeah? I don't think I did. I may have said something that sounded like it. Oh, for Ada. I see. So I know, I don't know, mate. I'm no good on. I'm no good on those sort of technical things. Ash, can you help there? I don't know. I'm assuming that you're running the trade manager, and you've lost the.
What was the? Sorry, mate. I was somewhere else. What was the question about?
Oh,
Ages for Shukri.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
My
IFS MT4 just suddenly crashed and could not be put on again.
Yeah, try it, Sino. The possibly the best thing to do is make sure that the program's deleted from your system, and then try and download it again. IFS, is that Fusion? That's Fusion, isn't it? So I'm running a Fusion account.
No, IFS is not Fusion, no.
Oh, is it not? Okay. Yeah, I don't use IFS, so I don't know about IFS. If not, Sino, if it doesn't work again, my advice would be contact James and ask him if you can switch to a Fusion account instead.
Don't know.
Because I don't really know about IFS. I don't use them, and if I'm honest, I don't really like them. So it might be a good opportunity to switch to Fusion anyway.
So guys, tell me you got TP2 on the pound, right? It went through the level. Please tell me you did. Or is nobody trading it? Shukri, you'd be trading that. Did you get TP2? I need to know. Because it's bang on the level. Actually, it may not have got there because of the spreads. Not the trade manager, but the MT4. Okay. Yeah, mate, I don't know. What Ash said, I suppose, is the answer. Sorry. TP1, you're out. Okay, cool. I'm not sure how we're going to record this one, Ash, but anyway, we'll see how we go. All right. I'm done, I think. Yeah, look,
Sorry,
the Aussie
mate. So
pairs,
with a pound, with TP1, was that break even or?
well, like I said, I got out because I didn't take my TP1, but everyone else got TP1, and
Yeah.
it's just hit TP2, maybe. It depends. So I don't know how you're going to record that, but leave it up to you.
Okay. Do you know what? I'll record it as flat just because it's easier.
Righto. Well, at worst, it was break even. Certainly wasn't losing.
Okay. All right. That's good enough. Okay. So that is pretty much us, mate. There's one share that I'm looking to get in on a short, actually, called Glencore. If anybody's interested in that, I will discuss it in the US show. In fact, we've got Shukri in the US show, but Glencore at 171, if anybody's trading shares, stocks and shares. And maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow in a bit more detail.
Right. So, guys, you know what to do with all those trades. I think I've covered it. You're safe on dollar Swissy now. Euro dollar, you're going to have to take a small loss if it does close in those positions that I mentioned. Well, you don't have to do anything, but that's what I'll be doing. But it may not do that. That's the hourly chart. It's the 4-hour close I'm talking about, right? It's not the hourly close. So if the 4-hour close is above the weekly pivot, stay in the trade, do nothing. But if it closes below here, then think about what I said. If the next bar is a buyer bar, then enter a sell order to cover your longs. Okay. And yeah, I won't be back to manage it for you. That's going to be the issue. Ash will manage that, won't you, mate?
What am I?
You'll manage my euro dollar trade.
Your euro dollar trade.
I'll call it through to you. I'll be about probably.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't even know you. Are you in that? Are you?
Yeah, we're in euro dollar long. Yeah.
Oh, hold on a minute. Euro dollar long. I don't know if that's in our euro dollar. Euro dollar's not in our list.
Well, it should be.
What? When did that get triggered?
Oh, I don't know.
Was it this month?
It was only a day or so ago, I think.
Oh
Yesterday,
gosh.
wasn't it?
Sorry, mate. That's not in. Let's put that in before we go.
I've got to remember how I traded it now.
Euro USD on the 12th of October.
Last week. Yeah.
Last week.
Yep.
Last week. Okay. Maybe I wasn't in.
It was triggered on Friday. We placed the order on, when was that? It was that day. What's the day? Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. We placed the order last Wednesday.
Yeah, I wasn't here, was I? So that was you. That was you.
On Friday. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be so the 12th is Monday. So we go back 7 to get us to the 5th, 6th, 7th. That'll be then. You place the order 7, but you got it triggered on the 9th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 09. Oops. 1009. Yep, and that is euro dollar. Okay.
Buy at 1.1808.
And it was a buy.
Mm-hmm.
Buy stop. Buy stop. And that was at price 1.1808. Yep.
Stop loss.
Yep.
1.1724.
1.1724. Okay.
TP1 1.1866.
1.1866. Okay. Anything happen with that trade?
Nothing yet, no.
Nothing yet. Okay.
But we may make it far more complex than it is at the moment, because we may enter a short, depending on how this 4-hour bar closes.
Okay, no problem.
We'll just count that as a separate trade. That's probably the way to go.
Yeah, probably is. Okay, mate, that is that. That's it in. And just formatting. There we go. That's it in. All right, all done. All done. We are all wrapped up.
Shukri, I'm trying, buddy. I've been trying hard. Apparently, it's a technical hiccup that is proving way too technical for anybody. What they're trying to do is put it on the website, not in Telegram, so that Ash and I you've got access to Ash and I to manage trades. Don't ask me how that works. You might as well ask me what's the next big thing in cryptocurrencies that's going to the moon. I got no idea.
Yeah. Okay. All right, mate. Good shape. Let's wrap it up then. Have a good couple of days, mate, and we'll see you back on Thursday. I'll be in with Shukri tonight. He can talk us through Ethereum, ADA, and probably much more. And then we'll be back tomorrow with Orlando. Is that right?
Yeah, mate. Yep. He'll be in the morning. Yep.
Brilliant. All right, fantastic. And then I'll be in the US show, maybe with somebody, maybe with myself, and we'll just we'll run through the journal and do all that kind of stuff.
Actually, we had fun last Wednesday. We went educational.
Okay.
And yeah, everyone was having a good old time there, asking lots of questions, and we got a fair bit done. So I was quite happy with the session. Actually, I think it's probably not a bad idea.
Okay.
Heads you win, tails you lose. That's tonight with Shukri.
Brilliant stuff. All right. Enjoy. Looking forward to that. Yeah, as I say, mate, enjoy your time off. And for everybody else, we'll see you later on. See you at 1:30 UK time for a little preview. And then for the 2 o'clock show with Shukri. And then for everybody else, I'll see you tomorrow at 5 to 8.
That's a date. Don't be late. See ya.